Hello and welcome to 52%, the show that talks about everything and anything going on in Liverpool and beyond from the perspective of 52% of the population, women. In just a few days' time, women across the globe are going to be getting together to celebrate all of our wonderful achievements for International Women's Day. So this time, we're going to be finding out about some of the amazing organisations in Liverpool that support women to achieve more and go further. Here's what's coming up on the show.
With us today we have Maura Cummins, who's Head of Education at Blackburne House in the city. Maura, tell us a little bit about Blackburne House and what it is you do for ladies in the region.
Right, Blackburne House is a social enterprise and a charity. We have lots of businesses. We have a cafe, health place, conferencing and events. We have a school of social entrepreneurs and a nursery. You can even get married at Blackburne House. I won't propose to any men today, though. And we do education for women, and it's non-traditional education for women. So we do construction, joinery. We have a lot of access to HE courses, teacher training, business, IT. And really, it's any women from the age of 16 to 18, 19 plus, who maybe have been disengaged from education, might have been carers, parents, who want to come back into educate, might not have the self-esteem or the confidence. So within all the programmes, we do a lot of health and well-being to get people's confidence up. Sometimes it's baby steps, sometimes it's huge jumps and leaps. We also do a lot of ESOL courses, which is English second other language, where we've got a lot of women from everywhere from Russia, the Yemen, who will come and might even have degrees in their own country, but actually need to learn how to speak English in order to get a decent job.
I suppose confidence-wise, it's a massive thing with confidence, because you touched on something earlier about women who've maybe been bringing up children, and I think they sort of think that when they've done that, it's hard to get a foot back on the ladder, doesn't it? And do you think that's where you come in to boost their confidence again, to make them believe they can go back out in the real world?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the women have come from various sort of backgrounds, various experiences. And sometimes it's just very, very difficult. You don't necessarily have the confidence to think you can go straight for a job. You might need to upskill, or it might be just having that confidence to kind of get engaged again within education, learn about employability skills, you know, and sort of learn a new skill and then go into the world of employment.
I think some of the things that you touched on as well, I don't know if you all noticed that it's perhaps things that you wouldn't, it sounds like I'm from the arc ages, but you wouldn't automatically think as a women's job, you know, something that a woman would do. And that's a good thing as well, isn't it? Because perhaps it's something they've considered doing, but automatically think, oh, that's a man's job, I can't get involved with doing that, with machinery. And it's like you're going, well, hang on a minute, it doesn't make any difference. This is what we're offering here.
Yeah, because women can do anything, you know, and it's really having the opportunities. And again, the confidence and self-esteem is the biggest thing.
It's a good thing for the wider community as well, though, isn't it? Because you've sort of nurtured a lot of new organisations, businesses that are female-led, based on what you've said, to do with the, you know, the more masculine sort of things like plastering, construction. I mean, if I was going to have a room plastered, I would feel a lot happier having a female plasterer in the home, because I live with 2 sons. They're out all day. You don't know what sort of lunatic you're letting into your house, do you? And most days I prefer a female lunatic to a male one.
Blackburne House, they actually teach women how to plaster. I mean, you've been around since 1844. How important do you think it is to keep the legacy of Blackburne House alive?
Well, we've been doing education for 32 years. And when we moved to Blackburne House, I think it was about 30 years ago, it was a grade 2 listed building. It was, you know, derelict, Claire Dove and a group of other women literally got in there, managed to raise money to do it up. And it's a spectacular building. It's absolutely beautiful. And it's almost, as soon as you walk in there, there's a feeling of calmness and security, which is fabulous again for many women who may feel a little bit insecure or, you know, of entering into the building.
Of course.
So it's almost a bit of a safe haven. And we're looking again at courses, so we're introducing sort of games and animation for women. We're looking at things, law, logistics. We're going to be going back to where we used to be, which is delivering HE courses for women.
Wow,
So,
that's brilliant. I can't wait to hear about all of these. We are going to come back and chat with you in just a few moments. But another amazing organisation that supports women all over the Northwest is the Women's Organisation on James Street. Gaelle headed over to find out a little bit more about it.
20 years. That's how long the Women's Organisation has been promoting entrepreneurship and business. The charity, which was reshuffled in 2008, offers support to women who wish to create their own company. Naturally, to celebrate International Women's Day, it felt obvious to go and have a chat with the women, helping to empower other women.
My name's Abby Ingalls and I'm the Engagement and Digital Marketing Coordinator at the Women's Organisation. This year is pretty exciting, so we're celebrating International Women's Day on the actual day, March the 8th, and it's going to be International Women's Day, a celebration of pioneering women. So we've got an amazing panel coming here for a great event. It's partnered with the University of Liverpool, so we've got a couple of professors and directors from the management school speaking on the panel, as well as Anna Hayes, who's the managing director of Active Profile, like an international PR and marketing agency. And we've also got Sharon Hilditch, who's the MBE of Crystal Clear, which is an internationally renowned skincare brand. So there'll be a panel event, and it's going to be chaired by Pamela Bull, who's the founder of the Women's Equality Party in Liverpool, and we're really looking forward to it. It's going to be a really good event. Anyone's welcome to come. You can book online, so you can head over to our website, thewomens'organisation.org.uk, and go to our events page, and it's listed there. Just follow it through and you can book your ticket. It's just £5 and all the proceeds will go to our charity. Yeah, it's in November, so there actually is an International Men's Day, so people come and they say, oh, when's International Men's Day? It is there, and people, it is recognised, especially with men and mental health. That's a big thing going around in International Men's Day. So they do have one, and we've got one, and they're at separate ends of the year. We celebrate different things. We do it in lots of different ways. So we've got an amazing team of business advisors who work really closely with like a huge range of different women to help them from like the first tiny seed of a business idea and grow and hopefully start up and run their own businesses. We've also put on lots of events every month, bringing women together to network in business. So we do lots of different things. We do training courses where people can come and learn here about how to use different aspects of business, digital media, social media, that kind of thing. So yeah, it's all we do constantly. Yeah, it's our 20th birthday, the Women's Organisation's 20th birthday this year. So we started back in 1996, and back then we were known as Train 2000. So yeah, 2016 is a massive year for us this year. We are doing so many things throughout the year. It seems like there's a different celebration every single month. We'll be celebrating all the way through. We've got a big sort of project on the go. We want to reach 20,000 Twitter followers by the end of the year. So we have 11.7 thousand. So we are over halfway there. So yeah, if anyone wants to get involved, they need to go and follow us on Twitter at the Women's Org. And we've got a special hashtag for the year, Wow, we are 20. So yeah, that's one of our big targets for 2016. Oh, it's achieved so much. So we just released the statistic this year. We've helped over 50,000 women over our 20 years. So obviously that's a huge number, and we're really, really proud of that, considering it started as just 1 or 2 people in a tiny little office. We moved into this building, 54 St James Street, 5 years ago. This is the Women's International Centre for Economic Development, and we're really proud of it. So we've done huge amounts of things that we are proud of. Oh, it sounds really sad, but probably our CEO, Maggie O'Carroll, because she's the brain power behind the women's organisation. It was her idea all those years ago, and she's led us into what we are now 20 years on, so Maggie O'Carroll.
Welcome back. This time we're celebrating International Women's Day, and who doesn't want to celebrate their mum? It's Mother's Day on Sunday, and the new hotel in Liverpool, Pullman Hotel, are giving one of our viewers an overnight stay with dinner. All you have to do is answer this question: what is the name of the restaurant at the Pullman Hotel? Is it A, Duke's, B, Waterfront, or C, Cuisine in Motion? You can answer via Facebook, Twitter or email, and full details are on our website. Closing is tomorrow at noon though, so get cracking.
Oh, I wish I could enter that. That'd be nice, wouldn't it? Now, on Tuesday, millions of women all over the world are going to be celebrating all of our amazing achievements, as well as addressing the global need for gender equality. And do you think that having all these multiple organisations in Liverpool supporting women is a good thing, or do you think it's something saying, well, the women need the support because they can't do it on their own? Do you see, looking at devil's advocate side
I
of
would
it,
definitely say it's a good thing.
it's a good thing, yeah.
You know, you could
It's a
say,
shame,
we
but-
can't do it on our own. You're quite right, but that's not because of our skill or our talents. Or you know,
well, in
or
that
lack
case,
thereof.
shouldn't we have
It's these
specific
things that-
groups for men then? In that case,
Well, I
But
think
there
there
you
are.
know,
Life.
yes, exactly. The general environment and the general world is the big group for men. It still is that.
And
You know,
there are the Masons, and there's a
yeah,
smaller
absolutely.
organisation which I think is a fabulous organisation called Calm, which is to help young men with mental health issues. That's specifically for men.
Yeah.
And I think that, you know, there is a place for specific organisations for people with specific needs. It just so happens that 52% of us have very specific needs, and they're not being addressed because of the patriarchy that Maze
still
is
exists,
describing.
unfortunately. In ideal circumstances, you wouldn't have to have all of these things in such specific, giving such a specific agenda maybe. But we're not at that place yet. We're not that evolved. You know, and when we get there, that'd be great. You know.
I mean, do you think it's things like with what you're doing there, as well as the skills and the training? Do you think it's helping women going out there? Because we all know there's still so many professions where it's very male, or even where I work in radio, it's a male industry. The salaries are for the males, and you know, it's just something they've got away with for years. Do you think it's something that you help them when they go into a work environment? You've not only given them the skills, but you've given them the confidence to walk in and go, do you know what? Why should I take £5 less than a man when I'm doing the same job? Do you think you're building them with that?
I think we're giving them the resilience that they need, and also the capability to know they can do what a man does, whatever that might be. You know, we're introducing apprenticeships again this year for the women.
That's great.
And, you know, getting in touch with employers, looking at the skills gaps in Liverpool. Women, successful women who can earn a good salary, support their family and the economy, and it's really, really important. You know, men and women can do the same jobs, you know, and it's just empowering the women to believe that they can do that. But it's also looking at what's missing in schools, the careers education. We've recently done a couple of workshops with schools where we've gone in, and it's predominantly been females in sort of year 9, and they've come up and asked questions to women. They haven't got a clue what the women do for their careers. And strangely enough, the girls would come up and ask questions, and the most natural questions were, are you a beautician? Are you a receptionist? Are you an air hostess?
Typecast, isn't it?
And at the end of it, within the assembly, all the women that have sat around stand up and say, well, actually, this is what I do. You know, I'm a pilot.
Do you know, that was the one profession I was going to pull out, because you don't, even in your head, you don't think of, a woman pilot. You don't particularly think of a woman fireman or fire person, whatever. You genuinely don't think of a woman doing that. And it's the same with like sort of even on the airlines and everything. It's presumed that any man who goes and is an air steward, oh, he must be gay. Oh, do you know what I mean? That's because it's a female job, and it's changing people's mind about typecasting, isn't it?
You said one of your courses was construction. Now, playing devil's advocate, can a woman go into construction the same level as a guy, or would it take two women to do one man's job in construction?
No, if they've got the qualification.
What about lifting and carrying and, traditional construction sites, a house and estate where you've got to
manually?
I mean, I wouldn't profess to be as strong as any man, far from it.
I mean,
I have strength in
I mean,
other places.
there may be, sort of limitations if you're talking about sort of a physical strength. But I think the skills base is as strong as any man. There's obviously things that women can't do if you're talking about physical strength, but you could equally say the same about some things men can't do that women can do. So it's just weighing it really. But as long as they have got the education, the skills, they can get the experience.
Have you seen people change
really.
dramatically after being to you? Coming in, have you sort of seen somebody and you've, good, I know obviously you can't name names, but are there particular people that stand out and you think they've walked away from here and they've done this or they've done that?
Yeah, we have a graduation every year and there isn't a dry eye in the room. We have the women who come up and tell their story about, the very first time they walked through the doors at Blackburne House and how they weren't sure what they wanted to do. They had the advice and guidance. They weren't very confident. And you see them fly. You see by the end of that year or 2 years, the experience, the confidence, it's the whole package really. It's putting together all that sort of self-esteem, those skills and saying, come on, you can do it.
So you're going to make a big thing of International Women's Day. It's something that, how are we going to celebrate it at Blackburn House then?
Well, for the students, we've got a whole series of different films each day, so the students can look at inspirational women.
Like who?
Well, we've got, sort of Angeline Mayer. We've got all sorts. Eleanor Rathbone. We've actually got a conference on Friday. Wow. I mean, she was forefront in women's rights. We've also got the students are putting something on Wednesday, a whole series of different events to celebrate International Women's Day. So, it'll just be busy from the day we walk, from Monday really through to the Friday.
I think it's brilliant that Blackburn House, which has been established as, as a female school in the city, is still here and still teaching the women of our city. That in itself is something that should be recognised.
Can I ask a really basic idiot question? The women that come through the door, are they in the main sort of people like single mothers, or they might be sort of like refugees originally, or women who really haven't got that support network that some of us might take for granted? Do you know what I mean? Or is there a wider profile than that? Am I misunderstanding the profile of those women? Because if they are that the women that come from that type of background, that they go on that journey. Is sort of, it's bigger than one of us going on that journey in a way. Do you know what I mean? Because we're already in some
We've been
sort
given
of
a head
support.
start
We're given a head start in some ways.
Yeah, I think a lot of the women do come from disadvantaged backgrounds. A lot of the women wouldn't even go onto a course if we couldn't provide childcare for some of them. We have a limited pot.
Yeah.
But we offer, if they've got a child under 5 and it's a full-time course, childcare and travel, one or the other.
Yeah.
Just within limits. I mean, we've also been in touch with companies. So the Holt Foundation gave us some money for bursaries, which again, the students can apply for.
Oh, wow.
And that again assists them if they need materials or, sort of childcare. So without that, a lot of the women just wouldn't enter education because they can't.
They wouldn't be
can't.
able to.
No.
I mean, you touched on something earlier about inspirational women, and everyone else have a little think about it. Who for you, ahead of International Women's Day, who would you say is your one woman who would really inspire you? If there was one woman you could pick out.
one woman who I could pick out.
Anyone got any ideas?
There are so many.
Well, mine would be Ada Lovelace, and she was the person who invented software, basically. Yeah, she was actually Lord Byron's daughter, and she was working with Charles Babbage on his differential machine, which was, you know, a valve, massive abacus type first computer. And she invented software and programming
She was the one that saw the
as a result.
potential of that machine, wasn't she? I
That's
mean,
right,
Babbage
yeah.
himself didn't actually understand
No.
what the implications of it was. Almost like just a massive big calculator
Yep.
to him.
Yep.
Extraordinary.
And the word bug actually goes back to those days, because a moth did get caught between two of the parts of the engine, and it created a problem within the program that she'd written to come up with a calculation. The calculation was incorrect because of this bug, and that's how the bugs in software still remain to this day.
She's something new
like
every
She's
day.
like the mother of computer science.
She totally
Well, I
is.
tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to give you a few minutes to have a little think. I'm not going to put you on the spot. I'm going to be coming back to you very shortly, aren't we, to find out which woman has inspired, obviously yourselves as well. So we will be back, and we're going to be taking a break for just a moment, but do stay where you are, because when you come back, we are going to be finding out what This Girl Can have got planned for the International Women's Day. So we will see you in just a moment. Welcome back, and this time we're celebrating International Women's Day, where on Tuesday millions of women all over the world, they're going to be celebrating all of our amazing achievements, as well as addressing the global need for gender equality. Sports England campaign This Girl Can has been inspiring women to try new skills and be more active. For International Women's Day, the Liverpool branch, Liverpool Girls Can, has organised a big event happening on the day itself. Tuesday, the 8th of March, we're going to get women dancing. Gaelle met up with Atalia Florell from Movema, the dance group running the workshop, to find out some more.
Although International Women's Day was created in 1909, it is not until 1977 that the United Nations proclaimed March the 8th as the day for women's rights. Today, events are happening all around the world to celebrate women. In Liverpool, conferences, workshops and dancing sessions are on the agenda. We met Atalia Florell, professional dancer and businesswoman, who told us more about Movema and what they'll do for this special day.
So Italia, what is Movema?
Movema is a whale dance company, and we started in 2009 based in Liverpool and Bristol, and Movema is all about sharing diversity through whale dance culture and dance.
Right, so what kind of classes do we have then?
So right now we have our Gaelle dance ready for celebrating St. Patrick's Day. Through the year we have a programme that celebrates whale dance from around the world. So next we have Bollywood, celebrating Indian culture, and we're going to perform at St. George's Hall for Light Night. And then following that we have Carnival, so we hit the streets with Brazilian and Caribbean grooves, and we follow the cultural schedule for the year, both in Liverpool and around the world. So next is Black History Month, so we have African influenced dance, and Christmas, we just put it all together and celebrate Christmas
And
festivities.
Yeah, you've been part of festivals as well. I saw you at Africa Oye last year.
Yes,
Yeah.
that was amazing. I mean, we actually launched our project there. We launched Movement there by holding a dance tent called Oye Active Zone, and that is to encourage people to join in, whether they're babies, whether they're grandparents, whether they're beginner, advanced, and it's free. So that's what we really want to support, free dance.
On March the 8th, Movema will be joining the Liverpool branch of This Girl Can, the national campaign for the celebration of women who are doing their thing no matter what.
This Girl Can, we are collaborating with this amazing project encouraging women, girls to get fit. It was noted that that was the biggest area of the population that wasn't engaging in activities, and we work with Rianne and Lucas to use our dance forms to do that.
Good. Is it workshops? How does it work? Is everyone invited to come? Or?
Yes, it's an open door policy, and we're going to be at 2 locations on the 8th of March. We're going to be at Tox the Firefit from 12 till 2, where I'm going to be leading the session actually. I'm going to be dancing around the world, so I'm going to do a bit of Bollywood, a bit of Brazilian, and maybe a little bit of Gaelle. And we're also going to be at another location for celebrating the Liverpool Clinical Commissioning Group. All of the details are on our website.
Yeah. Movima.
So it's www.movima.co.uk.
Right. Yourself, did you start Movima?
Yes, I'm one of the founders. There are 4 founders, and it's really special actually to be celebrating International Women's Day because the founders are all women and we're quite diverse. Myself with a Caribbean and Irish background, and of course Scouse with the accent. Pei is from Malaysia and she moved here to study pharmacy. Penny is from a mixed background and she's now based in Bristol, and Maria is from an Irish background and brought up in Birmingham. So together we created Movima in 2009.
Because you're a dancer, but you're a businesswoman as well. How do you work all of this together? This is quite tough.
Yeah. Continuously reflecting and reviewing. I think that's really important. What we found is that it's really important for us to keep active. That helps us feel rejuvenated, re-energized, and we just want to keep kind of reviewing what we're doing. But also the business part is important. It's the cogs of the business, and so being in the office is also important. So I officially have 3.5 days in the office, and the rest is out dancing, teaching or dancing. Yeah.
And what do you think? We still have an International Women's Day today. What do you think about it? Do you think we need it?
I think we do, yeah. I think especially with the recent kind of discussions around women's pay, how it's not equal to men's pay. It's still happening now. I think it probably still will until I'm here. But what's important is it's about sticking up for what you believe in. So sharing the message, getting that message out there. So it's really important to celebrate women. Celebrate diverse women from around the world. The UK, Liverpool in particular, is so diverse, and it's really great to celebrate and deepen understanding around cultures as well as women.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Now, International Women's Day isn't just about addressing inequality, it's also about inspiring women to do more. Now, we spoke earlier about inspiration very, very quickly. I do want to know inspiration for you, Maisie. Go on.
Well, that has got to be Mary Wollstonecraft. It's got to be like the first woman who really put herself out there in the late 18th century and wrote a vindication of the rights of women. And started the whole debate really towards women's equality.
Yeah.
So it's got to be Mary Wollstonecraft.
Okay. What about you then, Lisa?
For me, it's any woman who sets out to achieve something and succeeds. If you're anyone that gets their dreams.
Mm-hmm. You see, mine's quite simple. Mine's just my mum. But it really is. Whatever I've done in my life. And it would be the biggest compliment to me if my daughter sat on this settee in 20 or 30 years' time and said the same thing about me. So if she's watching, then make sure you do. But the other thing is, but I think the main other thing is, yeah, a lot of women's sort of confidence in the workplace and that. One thing I'd like to know from your point of view for ahead of International Women's Day is, do you think sort of shapes and sizes matter and their whole body confidence? Does that come into how they feel within the workplace?
Well, it shouldn't do, but again, it's all about health and well-being, self-esteem. I keep saying self-esteem and confidence, and it's actually about what the woman is about and having that skill set. And once you've got that, you are invincible. So it shouldn't even enter the equation. Body shape, body size, what someone looks like should be the actual skills they possess.
Yeah. Do we think one day is enough to celebrate International Women's Day? Is one day enough? Should there be more than one day?
I think we should be celebrating each other as women. Anyway, and I think I've said this before on the show, there's nothing worse than other women for bringing each other down, but yet with a laugh to support and applaud each other. And I think once that changes, then International Women's Day will naturally probably evolve, if not be eradicated.
It's an automatic thing, isn't it? Because if somebody says to you, even we were talking in the break saying, oh, you look really nice, we like this, or somebody says to you, I really like that, yeah, it's $3.99 in Primark. You can't just go.
Undermine it, don't you?
Yeah, you can't just go, thanks for that. Yeah, I do look really nice. You have to feel the need to justify why you look like that, don't you?
I do feel that that's changing though. Do you know what I mean? Because like I feel like we're really supportive before the show and all of that sort of thing, and that's all fantastic. And I do feel that's changing. I think though that historically there is a tendency, not all women, of course, like not all men. You can never say those things as blanket statements, but women. There is a tendency that has been the case for women, but that's partly to do with the way that identity is being created. And if you can have that self-identity, if you can have that confidence that you're talking about, and that comes from not really caring. Not caring, but I mean not caring in a good way, that you don't care. You don't care actually what particularly what you look like, and etc. The women that go out there and do stuff, you'll find that like, oh, I just love Judi Dench, and all of those. And in a way, she doesn't care. It's like, here I am. There you go.
Do you know one very quick thing I do want to know? Because we've obviously got the celebrating women internationally. There's going to be blokes all over the country, aren't there? Oh, what about International Men's Day?
Yes.
Do we think there should be one?
It's Men's
Quickly.
Day.
Well, yes, but can I
Have kids asking for it next?
Yeah.
have I got time for a quick story? A really
Probably
quick one?
not, because we're about to go
sorry.
into another break, I think.
Okay.
But we'll find a little bit out about it, can't we?
Before we head to the break, we'd just like to pause for a moment to have a little celebration of our own. On International Women's Day, it will have been exactly a year since 52% came on your screens. Can you believe that? A year? And although things have changed so much from the early days, it was just Jen and myself. We're now halfway through our second series, and we are so proud of what we've achieved. We've talked about everything from pageants to periods, music, art, sports and food. So we'd just like to say happy birthday, 52%. And we've put together a little montage of our best bits. Take a look at this.
Welcome back to 52%. So if I was examining you, for example, in a medical scenario, I'd hold your arm to check under your arm.
Because a lot of couples who become homeless end up staying on the street because they're separated otherwise.
And then up and over, lengthen our arms to the sky.
4-6 to 770.
You expect more of women.
Stop mocking me. Look, apparently I'm doing great for a first time.
Careful with red icing.
On to what's trending then, ladies. It's about women walking home safe and having a choice about their careers. And I'm proud of them because I'm the first girl in my sport and I'm still the only girl.
That's all we've got time for. Another fantastic show with some brilliant topics. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time. Oh, more emotion after that. But anyway, listen, stay tuned. We're going off for a break. When we come back, it's time for What's Trending. And yes, we're all on our soapbox this time.
Welcome back, and this episode we've been celebrating International Women's Day, which is coming up in just a few days' time. This is the time on the programme where we roll up the sleeves and we get really topical and talk about what's trending. Now, there's been a huge rally of support from the public and celebs across the globe following a ruling that means that Nashville star Kesha must continue to work with her producer and label. Last week, a New York judge denied Kesha that would have allowed her to record new music outside of its Sony Music and working with producer Dr. Luke, even though she's accused this producer of abusing her both physically and emotionally. Since then, Taylor Swift has agreed to help with any financial needs and other female artists, including Lady Gaga, Lorde, Grimes, Lily Allen and Kelly Clarkson. They've all publicly supported the singer-songwriter. Now, one person who I know feels very, very strongly about, look at the look she's giving me, I'm going to move. Lisa, this one's over to you.
You know, first of all, I'm disgusted, absolutely disgusted with this. If this had been in any other industry, business, as you worked in a shop on the high street and her employer had abused her, raped her, sexually assaulted her, do you think she would have had to go back to work?
No.
Of course she wouldn't.
Not at all.
It's an accusation at this point, but even if it was just an accusation,
she shouldn't be put in that. I mean, if you look back to last year when that kid left One Direction, he was allowed to just leave. And there's nothing going on there. Chris Brown was sent to prison for assaulting Rihanna. His records have sold millions more since then. His career's been enhanced by this behaviour. So for me, the sheer fact that this poor woman has been through a sexual assault, emotional trauma, mental disruption, it just wouldn't happen.
Isn't it?
But it wouldn't happen in a normal job. So why is the fact that she's put on this pedestal as a pop star, why is this any different? Why is she being treated different? This is 2016. Women are not commodities. She's being treated as a commodity, as a machine that's paid to perform, irrespective of what on earth happens to
But
us.
it's interesting because there's two different issues there. One is that it's an accusation at this point, so we don't actually know what the truth is.
But there's clearly a breakdown in the relationship
thing
though,
is,
somewhere.
no, but the other thing is, which is that you've just said that women are still treated as commodities, you know, and the commodification, the continual commodification of women is a real issue. And that I think as well that maybe it's also to do with drawing up that contract. So that's about American law and what you can and cannot include in those individual contracts.
Coming away from the law side of it, can I just ask one thing? Let's flip it round the other way. Okay, so there's a bloke, because some women, you know, they can be quite forceful, can't they? So let's flip it round the other way. Do you think they'd make a bloke stay? Say if it was Justin Bieber, for example, and the person he was working with at the record industry was constantly coming on to him or he'd made allegations about this said woman. Do you think Justin Bieber would be like made to stay?
Well, we don't know, do we?
You don't
Because
know, do you? That's the thing.
As far as I'm concerned, the minute that those accusations were made, that contract is null and void. It's over. And if it puts you off allowing your daughters to go into that industry, because if that's what's going on, then why would you encourage your daughters to want to go down that road, that avenue for their careers?
It's like saying it's back to the old casting couch thing, isn't it?
It's
That
exactly
you've got to keep going
and
regardless.
they've took the casting couch into the courtroom. Now, I'm sure that there are some celebrities that have used the casting couch to enhance their career. That's fine, but what Kesha's saying is she hasn't. And she's being told, whether she likes it or not, she is going to work. She's a workhorse, and it's wrong, and it shouldn't be allowed to happen in the new millennium.
Well, Lisa has a little calm down. Let's move to Gaelle. Right.
Today's right,
everybody. What have you been reading about this week?
I'm going to have a little go at EDF Energy today. They've recently had a programme out to encourage girls into the STEM subjects, to start studying the STEM subjects. So that's science, technology, engineering and maths. So they've created a website and branded it rather fluffily, because of course that's, you know, we only like pink, don't we? And we like fluffy things. Oh, and they called the programme Pretty Curious. That's clever, isn't it?
That's not patronising at all,
is it? Yeah. And so, but you know, sometimes I just think to myself, well, anything to get these girls working in industries that are not traditionally for women, just like you're doing. And what they did a bit further on into the competition was they opened it up to boys as well, and a boy has won the competition.
Hang on. So it started off for women?
Yeah. It started off for girls, and they opened it up to boys as well, but they kept the branding and the flavour of it all very much to encourage girls to do these things. But then then they awarded the prize to a boy.
Is the boy's name neutral?
No, it was opened up to boys.
Yes, it was actually opened up to boys.
So
yes.
specifically female events.
Well, it's specifically to attract girls into these
so boys
subjects.
weren't disallowed?
No, it was originally just for girls, but later on, I don't think they had very many entries, maybe.
That's quite
interesting.
So they then opened it up to boys as well, and I mean, good on the kid. It's some sort of kinetic device using this, you know, the way you're moving your thumbs when you're gaming to produce energy with thumb movements. Pretty good idea and everything, you know. And there were women on the panel of judges, some very, you know.
That's such a shame, that.
But if I'd have been a young girl and, you know, come up with something that I thought was great and entered it, thinking this is for girls, because it's branded for girls, it's, you know, the whole ethos of it, and then found out that a boy had won, I really would feel like I'd been slapped in the face. That would really have galled
Can't
me.
do nothing without the boys gagging
But
in.
we sort of need more women high profiled because they are out there. They are role models in the science and technology field. There's a woman, for example, who's on BBC4 who does the sort of Sky at Night stuff, and she's incredible. She's such a personality, you know. And she's obviously engaged with cosmology but she's on BBC4. I love BBC4. But, you know, you've got to go there in the first place. You know, they're not out there in the general... Do you know
if his was the best entry, though, and he deserved to win.
Judge it by that. Speaking again of equality, obviously, it's a leap year. Now, we were talking about this just earlier, weren't we, about whether you would actually propose to somebody, you know, from a female point of view. Maura, what's your thoughts on this? Obviously, everyone's been talking about women proposing to men over the last week, with it being a leap year.
Why not?
Would you
Why
do
not?
it? But it is, do you not think there'd be that element, I know that, you know, we always try and say about things being equal, but it is almost that thing that I think I'd want to be asked, because there'd always be that thing at the back of my head that he was thinking, oh God, I've got to say yes now, she says. But likewise, maybe that's how men feel asking, you know, when you see it like out on deck and they do the proposals, you sit there and you think, imagine if you'd been this bloke thinking, I really want to break this off, and the next minute he goes down on one knee on national television in front of you and you think, oh no. Would you never like worry about something? Would you do it?
I'd like to say yes, but you know,
You'd like the
yes,
bloke
I
to say
would
yes.
have done when I was younger.
What about you?
But we're not going down that path ever again.
No, and this is ridiculous, bearing in mind the show that we're on. And I apologise.
I'll tell you somebody I would ask. I would break the rules for, would probably be Leonardo DiCaprio. And he's finally won his Oscar. Yes.
You're so superficial.
But you know what? It's so nice, and you do spend your life looking at people and you think, oh, you really want the good people to succeed. And I think the whole of the world were behind Leonardo DiCaprio, weren't they? They were like, even Kate Winslet was like willing him on, and the pictures of when he won it, and they were recreating the scene of where he was stood. And I woke up with a great big smile on my face on Monday morning, because I thought, I don't even know, but I'm really chuffed for him. And of course, the night before, there were the raspberries.
Yeah, I didn't see it.
Now,
the Razzies.
Oh, yeah, the Razzies, yeah, which is all like the worst things. Well, what do you think? Right, let's have a little guess around. What do you think cleared the board? Worst actor, worst actress, worst screenplay, worst film, worst everything. Any guesses?
I can't even think of any bad films.
50 Shades of Grey. It won a lot.
I'm not surprised. Have you seen it?
Absolutely. Yes, I have actually. I've never in my life watched a film that is exactly like the book word for word. You just pick it up. Yeah, and it is. But it's readable rubbish. I remember reading it and like my mum said, read it. But it is. You sit there, you know, you just want to switch off.
Blue jeans.
But you do. It's like you think, oh, it's like Sweet Valley High when you were younger, thinking, oh, just switch off. It doesn't matter. But I remember we were talking about this in the house the other day, and my son said to my mum, he turned round and he said, I remember when my mum was reading those books, he said, if I was like sitting on the bed with her, he said, she used to make me turn the other way so I couldn't read it. And like I got a real telling off my mum. I was like, I'm 41 years old, I'm getting told off my mum for reading 50 Shades of Grey. There's nothing down for me. And very, very quickly to finish on at Maisie, literally in a nutshell.
Oh, right, okay.
Go on.
Brexit. I mean, it is one of the most important decisions we're going to have to make, really, whether we stay in or out of the European Union.
Yeah.
You know, I'll put my cards on the table. I'm an in girl. I think that we would be daft actually to take ourselves away from all of the benefits of the European Union, which can't be outlined here, of course, at the moment, because they are there with all the compromises and the difficulties. Of course, you're never going to get it perfect. But you know, one of the things is that it was created after the sometime a little bit after the Second World War, in order as well to maintain peace. And Europe has gone through its biggest section of peace in history.
Yeah. Oh, it's a tough one, isn't it? I don't even know. If we start that one, we'll be here all night, won't we? Well, that's all we've got time for today. Do enjoy International Women's Day, and we will see you next time here at 52%.